Hello guys, Jerry here with Cole Banker, my Facebook page, Ask the Real Estate Professional. You can of course can find me in all the rest of the social media pursuits, Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn and whatnot. Today we're continuing the video series on strategies that you can use to find value properties or deals in your local real estate area. So the strategies I'm talking about are general stuff that you can kind of use anywhere. I'm just going to dive right in. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about list to sale durations, how important it is to have that information. I'm going to talk about looking for motivated vendors and being perceived as an unmotivated buyer. So first thing, list to sale durations. What we are looking for is properties that have been listed for a while. You should be able to garner this information through your agent to list properties on the MLS. If not, if this is a privately, then of course you are going to want to look at previous ads or just ask the vendor how long their house has been for sale for. So what's the importance? If a property has been listed for a while, most likely you've got you have the potential for the vendor's motivation to have increased at this stage. Usually we find long list of sale durations fall into two camps. You either have a extremely high original asking price that has scared away the majority of the potential buyers, or you have something that is wrong with the property, window siding, roof, doors, foundation problems, terrible cosmetics, bad tenants, whatever it might be. Now, you are given an opportunity on both sides here. If there is an item that's particularly wrong with that property, the first and most important thing is to do the correct due diligence so you can identify if that item falls within your comfort level to accept. Because obviously there is an opportunity, if you are willing to accept an item, to potentially acquire a property for less than what it's worth. I can give an example. Just recently there was a property in Mount Pearl, and it's like a split-entry bungalow. It had evidence of leaks. That property had been overpriced and had sat there for like 6, 7, 8 months, and eventually it sold, less than $200,000 when it probably should have sold in the 220s, all because the vendor was not willing to address this evidence of a leak. Plaster that had obviously been damaged by a leak, but they just didn't fix it or whatever. Anyway, the point I'm making here is that if you have a family member that's a roofer, or you are willing to accept that item, then you can potentially get that property for less. The other side of that is just that it was just really, really overpriced, and it may still be overpriced. The most important thing when you're looking for a value buy or a deal is to not be put off by asking prices. You want to look at comparables in that neighborhood and identify what you feel and your realtor feels that the asking price should be for that property. Forget about what they're asking. And then, of course, there's your own personal scenario. How much money do you feel you have to put into it? And then you're going to come up with a number what you're willing to pay for it. You offer that number. You negotiate around that number. If you can't get an acceptable offer with that vendor for that number, well, then you walk away. We'll find something else. So finding a property that has been listed for a long time and looking at those two options for potentially getting that price down. Either there's an item that you can use as evidence that this price should be lower, or just making a low offer and trying to negotiate from there. The other two things I want to talk about today were looking for motivated vendors and being presented as an unmotivated buyer. Okay, very, very important. Now, it's hard to just say, okay, well, I'm looking for motivated vendors. How do I do that? The important thing here is asking the right questions, asking, the reason for the vendor selling. Most vendors won't tell you, most agents won't tell you, but you have to ask the question because some vendors and some agents may go into a lot of detail and tell you all kinds of stuff. If you can discern that the person's motivation is very high, that gives you an advantage, but just as important, is to be perceived as a low motivated buyer. You do not want to show them that you're anxious to purchase something. Warren Buffett has got this little analogy that he uses. You see him on television and stuff, talking about baseball and investing, and how in investing you don't have to swing. You can choose your opportunities. Real estate investing, exactly the same thing. You want to be very, very, very cautious over choosing the right opportunities. If that vendor's motivation is not high enough and yours is perceived as high, then you're in a position where you might be paying market value or more for that property. Just walk away, find something else. Anyway, those are a few of the strategies that I'd like to cover in today's video, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Please tune in now for the rest of the week as I continue the video stream and identify a few more strategies for finding that value property. Thanks so much for watching. Cheers.